Shalom. Call halal Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kradash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. I want to rewind your mind back to around about 2022 to 2023. And I want to utilize this photo as a backdrop to hopefully, through the Spirit, this lesson will be edifying. Because if you can recall, this here occurred in Venezuela, as to where the Venezuelan people, they raided the banks not to take the money, but they took the money and simply threw it into the streets. But why is that? Because their money, due to inflation, it became completely worthless. And why am I bringing this to the forefront? Because not only do we have inflation going on in America, aka Babylon the Great, and I'm going to bring up a few points. I'm going to read a portion of this article here, but I want to grab it too as well, just to share it now. 11 countries have abandoned the American dollar. And also, in case you're unawares, the dollar is on a steep decline. And it tells us this in this overview here. Since mid-January, the dollar has fallen 9% against a basket of currencies, a rare and steep decline to its lowest level in 3 years. As a matter of fact, before I play a few videos I had queued up for you, I want to grab a few precepts. Listen to what the Lord states through the prophet Ezekiel. In Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 18 through 19. Verse 19 is the point, but I'll read 18 as well, because that's what's coming here to America, Babylon the Great, is severe lamenting and mourning. It tells us this: they will put on sackcloth and be clothed with terror. Every face will be covered with shame, and every head will be shaven. Verse 19 is the point. They will throw their silver into the streets, and their gold will be treated as a thing unclean. Their silver and gold will not be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath. It will not satisfy their hunger or fill their stomachs, for it has caused them to stumble. Now, in case you're unawares or can't recall this event that occurred in Venezuela, I'm going to play these two shorts here. And of course, YouTube, I want to utilize this under the Fair Use Act again, fair use. And this was just a few years ago. All right, watch closely.
Mira, se consigue esto en las calles de Venezuela. Puro dinero tirado en la calle. Como billetes. Yo quería yo quería un billete de 100. Pero no. Quería un billete de 100. Mira, un billete de 20.
You stop this here because the question comes to mind. If you're not serving the Lord, what are you going to do when they make the MOTB mandatory? All right. When this American dollar, this fiat currency, becomes worthless. Okay. One more short to share with you, and we'll get right back into the scriptures.
These are all Venezuelan money, stacks upon stacks of it. Ever since hyperinflation happened in Venezuela, a lot of Venezuelans have immigrated into Colombia, and some of them have found creative ways to make a living through their native currency of Venezuelan bolivars. Their biggest bill is 50,000, which is worth 9 cents. So this is like $120. You can see the scales and colors to them. This is actually really intricately made. It's very, look at this backside right here. Well, this is a 1,000 Bolivar note, which has an armadillo in the back, and then there's this armadillo made out of 1,000 Bolivar notes. So we're gonna buy a collection of every Venezuelan bill for about $8. These are all Venezuelan money.
Let's come from here. I want to go back to that article very quickly, right? And I'll leave a link in the description because I won't read all of this. I just want to read a paragraph out of this article here, and it tells us this. The dollar is losing strength. It's not a theory, nor is it a rumor. 11 countries have officially announced that they will stop using the U.S. currency in their transactions starting 2025. And this news comes just as the country is going through one of the most complicated economic moments in recent years. The goal is clear: to strengthen their own economies, reduce the influence of the United States, and start operating with their own currencies. And although It's not an immediate goodbye or end of the world. It does mark the beginning of the end of the dollar's hegemony. And hegemony, that basically means strength, right? Okay? Because the American economy is circling the drain, okay? Let me read that again. It does begin the end of the dollar's hegemony hegemony as the global's currency. Let's come from here, right? Let's get right back into the scriptures. Let's go to Zephaniah chapter 1, verse 17 on down, and it reads, this is what the Lord is going to do. I will bring distress upon men, and they shall walk like blind men. And why are they going to walk like blind men? Because they don't have the eye salve to see. But for those of us who are of the hope of the elect, we see exactly what's going on, because we're measuring the time diligently. Continuing on, because they have sinned against the Lord, and Lord in all caps is Yahweh, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, because many people are going to die in these last days, and their flesh as dung. Neither, here's the point, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. Because we all have to keep in mind, essentially all of this is leading up to World War III. Remember, the scriptures tell us the third woe cometh quickly. In America, aka Babylon the Great, is going to be turned into a smoldering lake of fire by those thermonuclear missiles. But before that occurs, America is going to crumble, all right, as we see the economy is doing now. Continuing on, for he shall make a speedy riddance of all of them that dwell in the land. Chapter 2, verse 1, and it reads this. This goes to us who are of the hope of the elect. Gather yourselves together, yea, gather yourselves together, O nation not desired. And what's nation that's not desired? You so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Hispanics, all right? Also, you speckled bird Israelites that look like the heathens, all right? We are the children of Israel. We are that nation that is not desired. Verse 2 tells us this: before the decree bring forth, before the day pass as the chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord cometh upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. You see, this is why the scriptures tells us to give them warning from me, declares the Lord, of the upcoming doom, the upcoming economic crash, all hell breaking loose, Jacob's trouble, the mandatory implementation of the MOTB, all right, World War III, so on and so forth. Let me come out of this here, right? Let's come from here. What does the book of Proverbs chapter 11 verse 4 tells us? Wealth is worthless in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. Remember the power that we serve, Yahweh Shai. He told us this: store up not your treasures here on earth, but store them up in heaven. You know, that's what we look forward to. We're storing our treasure. We're doing the good work now. You know, remember the scriptures tells us, for our righteous deeds do follow us. Them works are going to follow us forever. And the treasures that we're storing up, they'll never rust. They'll never perish. No one will be able to steal them. Proverbs chapter 11, verse 4, again in the New Living Translations. Riches won't help you in the day of judgment, but right living can save you from death. And that's what we're hoping for. Should we be of that number? We're hoping to be delivered. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 17 through 19. Because we all know, some of our people, they are well off. They are doing well. But what should they be doing with their money, with their income? They damn sure can't trust in it. And how do we know for sure? Verse 17 tells us this clearly: command those who are rich in this present world not to be arrogant, nor to put their hope in wealth, to put their hope in this economic system, to put their hope in their investments, getting the bag, so on and so forth. Continuing on, which is so uncertain, but to put their hope in whom? The Most High, who richly provide us with everything for our enjoyment. Command them to do good, to be rich in what? Good deeds, and to be generous and willing to share. And it's a beautiful thing to help the brotherhood, to support the congregation, to do various alms deeds and so forth. It's in the angels are taking and keeping track of all of this as well, and reporting it back to Yahweh Shai. Verse 19, continuing on. In this way, they will lay up treasure for themselves as a firm foundation for the coming age, so that they may take hold of the life that is truly life. Because we know and we understand this is essentially what's coming to America, aka Babylon the Great. Now my phone would glitch now when I want to make reference of this photo here, because again, this is what happened in Venezuela just a few years ago, and this is what's coming to America, aka Babylon the Great, Lord willing, soon. And I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakwadash. Keep pushing, keep believing, keep the faith. Shalom.